4 things that you need to do if you want to be in a happy, fulfilling, long-term relationship. This is coming from someone who's dated long-term over 10 years in relationships. First relationship, 5.5 years. Last relationship, 4 years. There was a 1-year relationship somewhere in between that. And I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've coached hundreds of men on these topics over the last decade. So I'm very well versed with single men and with guys that are in relationships and where everybody's going wrong with this. So I want to share this for you guys, whether you're single or dating a girl right now. These are concepts you need to understand, because if you're single or you're dating, you got to start implementing this into the courtship the next time you meet a girl, slowly. And then if you're already in a relationship, I don't even see how it could succeed if you're not doing all 4 of these things daily. All right, so I'll give you guys some daily stuff to start with that you could do by yourself, and then also some stuff you should be incorporating with your partner that I've seen really transform my perspective and create a happy dynamic with me and my girl. So very first thing is on a more personal level. And this is going to be the way you talk to yourself about the relationship, and the way you track the relationship, and the content that you consume in your brain regarding the relationship. I'll give you a couple different examples of this, because this could go in a couple different directions. First thing is, I do a morning reflection in my journal, and part of that has affirmations. And my affirmations are aligned with the places I struggle and the goals that I have for my own relationship. That's important. It's important that you are talking about the relationship in a positive light on a daily basis. And I think the easiest way to start doing that is to just have affirmations that you write down. So some of the ones that I even do in my own reflection is, number 1, I put, I don't lust over other women. I respect my relationship. I write that in my journal every single morning. That's important because I've gotten lost in the lust side of things as I've taught pickup and dating and cold approach for a very long time at this point. And so that was a very important statement for me that I need to constantly remind myself of on a daily basis. Second one I put down is, I will show love to Doha every day, right? That's important to me. That's important that I go out of my way to inject love to my partner on a daily basis. I need to make that my own goal, right? As single men, we have goals of going up and talking to women, or going on a certain amount of dates, or getting laid a certain amount of times per week. If you're dating somebody, you need to prioritize and put the effort in daily to compliment them, to make them feel good, to show that love to them. Don't be greedy and start seeing the negatives of things and asking yourself, what are they doing for me? And I'm not going to do it unless... No, you be the man in the relationship and lead this thing and set the dynamic every day. Another thing I put down is, I will remain calm and unreactive even if the situation is unfair. Now, I'm not saying that you guys need to tolerate disrespect, but I do think as the man in the relationship, you're going to need to be the rock, and you're going to need to be stoic, non-reactive, be able to feel yourself getting triggered, catch that because you have high levels of emotional intelligence and awareness, de-escalate that, and resolve the conflict before it actually becomes a problem. That's a massively important skill set you're gonna need if you wanna have a successful relationship. All right, if you're just reacting and having emotional conversations with your girl every day, and I've been that guy, it fucking sucks. And it's just not a healthy dynamic that you're creating. All right, so those are some of the ones I write down in my notepad every single day just to remind myself. Those are goals for me that I put down. 1 second as this loud ass truck goes by. So that's just what you're writing, journaling, reminding yourself on a daily basis. The other one for this first point is the content. Now, are you watching aggressive red pill content every day where they talk about how evil women are, or how nasty women are, or how dirty they're gonna, fuck you over constantly, and be aware, and snakes and all this stuff? The more you watch that content, the more it becomes your reality. Understand that the more you watch any type of content, the more it just becomes your reality. And I've gotten lost in so many different directions with this too, guys. I'm telling you, your perspective and your reality can be whatever you want it to be, depending on whatever information you feed your brain. And the other part of this ties into watching porn. That's content that you're consuming. If you're consuming content of other women getting sexual with men and you're jerking your shit off to that, what are you programming your brain to do in terms of arousal and desire and sexual urges, right? Not a healthy dynamic for you and your partner long term. How could you be happy that way? This also ties into the way that you objectify every single woman. Walking down the street, if you're looking at every single girl's ass, trying to imagine fucking them, flirting with all of these women, obviously that is going to impact the relationship you have with your significant other. And this is something I'm guilty of too. That's why I'm talking about all of these, man. I was doing all of these wrong, looking at the negatives, lusting over other women, trying to pick up other women, watching content that encouraged all of those things. And so obviously my brain as such felt like I needed those things. Right? So that's all. That one point alone will change your entire relationship. But I have 3 other points for you. And they're all equally as powerful. I think you need to do all 4 in my opinion. But if you just did that one, massive game changer, honestly, for your entire relationship. Next point I want to get into is a meditation, but not just a regular meditation. Although I do think you need to do that too. But this is something I started doing recently with my partner, which is we do a 10-minute guided meditation first. Then I do a 5-minute not guided, meaning I turn the video off, and then I just do 5 minutes in silence with her next to me. We both go through it. Then we do a 2-minute group or couples meditation. So I'll sit down on the couch. She sits on my lap facing me, hugging me. And then we go into a 2-minute meditation. And beforehand, we look at each other, give each other a kiss, and we say, we're now going to be focusing solely on appreciation, gratitude, and love, and amplifying those feelings that we have for each other for the next 2 minutes. That's the meditation. While we're holding each other, squeezing each other, and she's like on my chest. And we do that for 2 minutes after already going through those other meditations. And you're already very present in that moment, so you're already in a peaceful state. And then when you lay that frame and you guys try to breathe in sync through the whole 2 minutes, man, that is so powerful. I'm telling you, if you're already dating a girl, go do that. You'll fall in love with your girl every morning, bro. I look forward to it. I'm at the gym. I'm thinking about having my coffee on the balcony while the sun's rising, while we're doing our meditation. It's a very blissful moment, honestly. And if you never do that, you never have that appreciation, you never have that gratitude, you never tap into amplifying that love for your partner. You go weeks without even giving her a compliment or having an affirmation about the relationship and why you love them, and obviously you're not nurturing the relationship. No fucking shit that thing's gonna die, bro. Obviously it's gonna die. You got this like plant that's not even in your vicinity, that you're not watering and not talking to and not giving attention to. Of course it's gonna end. Especially if you're consuming content about the other side. Watch, like you get that? Because man, I struggled so much with this. So the meditation alone is also an absolute game changer. The couples meditation. Like, it's been so good. Today she was like, we should do that one longer. And honestly, we should. Really should. So we're gonna move that up to 3 minutes and then ultimately 5 minutes. It's just a long thing, but it's really worth doing. The 10, the 5, and then another 5. So it's 20 minutes in the morning. If you got extra time, you do it at nighttime too. So powerful. So I would do the meditation. Now, on top of those 2, let's move into the next one. A weekly check-in. All right, weekly check-ins with your partner. So once a week, the same way that you have a daily reflection and a weekly reflection where you assess what went well and what didn't go well and what needs to be improved and what regrets you have, and acknowledging the wins, you do that within the relationship. And that is important for a couple different reasons. Number one, you guys need to get in sync about the things that each other is doing that you guys really appreciate. That way, because as men, you want to feel appreciated. You want to feel acknowledged for all the efforts you're putting in, that you're working hard, and that your girl admires those things. And that's important, because if you're only hearing the nagging side, again, that ties into the negatives that you're going to be viewing about the relationship. So first thing is acknowledging the wins, acknowledging the moments where you felt loved, you felt cared for, you felt appreciated, and she does the same. Okay, you start with that. Then we go into the opposite, which is, was there moments where you felt disrespected? Was there any actions that the other one did that bothered you? And you guys need to be able to communicate about these things in a non-confrontational way, under the premise of we're solely having this conversation because we love each other and we want to get in sync with each other long term, right? So there's no criticism. I mean, there's no confrontation. It's very constructive criticism, and that needs to be pre-framed before we have the conversation. So things we liked, things that could be switched up for the upcoming week, and you need to do that on a weekly basis. Even if the week was great, you need to have that conversation. That's where most people go wrong, and I've made this mistake too, is we had a great week, and so you don't feel like you need to have the check-in. You need to have the check-in equally as important as when you have a bad week. All right, you got to have that consistency. Just create a set time every week at this day, at this time, we're doing the check-in, and then just put it in your calendar and make it a non-negotiable. It's important to have that space to talk about these things, and there's gonna be things that bother her, because if you don't check in about these things on a weekly basis, they just build up and they build up and they build up, and then there's something really big. I really think that every relationship ends to very big fights that could have been resolved if there was open, honest communication lines more consistently throughout, along with all the other things I'm talking about in this video. It's all of it, because if you don't do point number one, you just have the wrong self-talk and the wrong vision of what should be going on. You got no gratitude, no appreciation, and you're being swayed by the external world in the opposite direction. If you're not doing the meditation, that's such an important part, man. You also need the meditation so you guys could stay calm when you get triggered from each other in conversation, which happens a lot to me in my relationship. But the meditation allows me to stay calm. So the 10-minute and the 5-minute on the front end allows me to stay calm with my partner. And then the last part, the couples meditation, just amplifies the love and gratitude and appreciation you guys have for each other, which carries throughout the day. And then anytime you guys hug and anytime you guys are, you have that moment throughout the day, it's anchored back to that couples meditation. So it's just, it's so powerful. And then the third thing, which is what I was just saying, is the check-in. You need that too, to be consistently staying in sync with each other. More importantly, it creates an open, honest dynamic of communication for when there is conflict. And you need that, because conflict resolution is one of the most important parts of the relationship too. And then the final point that brings it all together is, on a weekly basis, you have a date night. That doesn't mean that you need to go out to a fancy restaurant. It doesn't mean that you need to spend money. It means once a week you go out and spend quality time with each other, uninterrupted, no phones, and you do something that you could actually look forward to. You get happy and excited at the idea that you're gonna spend some time uninterrupted with your girl doing this thing. Sometimes that could be a fancy dinner. It doesn't need to be. Sometimes it could be something more fun, more adventurous. Sometimes it could be a chill night at home where we blocked out the evening so we could actually cook healthy junk food and watch a movie together. You don't want it to only be that. I think a lot of it should be going out, doing special, unique things to create memories that are fun, man. And when you can stack all 4 of these together, you got to do the first 3. Otherwise, the date, you're not even happy and excited to go on the date. Do you get that? Because the content and the way you talk about the relationship already made you look at it negatively. And then you don't do the meditation, so you guys have been getting triggered in every conversation. And so you're going into the hangout like already pissed off at your partner. And then you haven't been doing the check-in, so there's gonna be little shit that comes up that hasn't been solved yet, and that the date night becomes a fucking fight night. But when you do the first 3 properly, the 4th one is actually really fun and exciting, because we're actually in sync. We have hella love for each other. I've been programming my brain to really enjoy this. And now we have this actual moment where I can stay fucking present and really enjoy my significant other. I'm not exaggerating. I really think that this video is more powerful than any other concepts I've seen on relationships. I just don't see people mentioning the meditation thing. I came up with myself while I was meditating alone. I was like, this needs to happen with my partner. The journaling and reflection, I learned those concepts from other people, and then as I kept doing my reflection more and more, I made these hybrids of incorporating the relationship stuff. The date night one, everybody talks about that. Everybody's like, you need to date your partner. You never stop dating them. What they fail to mention is if you don't do points 1, 2, and 3 beforehand, date night becomes fight night. And then you're not even looking forward to the fucking date. You're like, I don't even want to do this. And then you start looking negative at the relationship. You got to do all of these. But when you really stack these together, I promise you, this is more valuable than any relationship course you could ever buy. I will put this in my own program in the relationship module. That's how powerful it is. Fuck what everybody else is saying. You do these things, you'll be in a really good relationship, man. Really, really good. And it's one of the most fulfilling things you could have in life, is having a partner that you're really happy and proud about and excited to spend time with. And you spend all this time building up the relationship together. And now you have this unique long-term experience with your partner that you, man, it's tough to beat that, honestly, unless you're programming your brain for the other stuff. All right, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you could take away a lot from this to make your own dating life everything you wanted and more. All right, if you want to work with me directly, if you want to surround yourself with like-minded individuals that are also going through this, click the links down below. You can apply for the one-on-one coaching if you want to transform your social life and dating life. Or if you want more of that group of like-minded individuals, click the school community group link down below. Both programs amazing for 2025. That's all for this video, guys. We'll talk soon. I'll see you tomorrow.